leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Let's get straight to the point. Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official. No negotiations needed. Period. You already know. We in the building. I want to get straight to the point, man. As you all know, let me reintroduce you to pound for pound best of this era. Terrence Crawford. 40 victories in, 0 defeats, 31 of those coming by way of knockout, okay? He currently sits at 36 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch reach, hailing out of Omaha, Nebraska. Now, what makes this live important is because this live is speaking on a potential opponent. I don't know if it's possible to make this happen, but Crawford fantasy opponent revealed will gross the highest gate of sign. As you all been paying attention and staying close to the airwaves, you've been hearing a lot about what's next for Crawford. You know what I'm saying? We understand that they have to the 25th, which is potentially like 15 days remaining for Team Fundora to come up, you know, pretty much the same stipulation they placed on Crawford when Team Ennis sent that IBF request over there. You know, the IBF sent that request over there for him to go into negotiations. WBO has made it perfectly clear that Fundora is to negotiate with Crawford and not Spence. So that was the first hailstorm. All right. The second layer to that inclement weather is the amount of time they have to do it. So by the 25th of this month, they have to come up and decide whether they're going to face Crawford. And then they also specify the specific date on when he has to face Crawford. With that said, you have to look at it that it's a lose situation when it comes down to it, because Fundora's coach has been on record as saying that he won't be back to November. All right. So he has options though. Just like Samson said, right? Samson said they had options. You know what I'm saying? They have options. The option is to vacate the belt. So let's just say they go with option A to vacate the belt. That would allow Crawford potentially to fight someone else. I'm looking at it like all the people that have been avoiding Crawford in this particular situation, where we look at boxing as the sweet science, the hurt business, and where everybody's supposed to challenge the best. That's left. That's went out the window. You know what I'm saying? That's gone. You know, because the results you're supposed to get when a fighter challenges someone that's supposed to be better than them to basically increase their level, you know what I'm saying, to show their fans they have advanced. They want the spot. But in this era, it just seems like Crawford is giving you everything that you're supposed to have as far as challenging the best, calling them out, trying to make the fight, and they have all retreated from Canelo to Jamel Charlo, you know what I'm saying, to Spence, to Ennis, to T.O. You know, all these people that was in the choir singing Crawford's name, they have since retreated. So this is what I came up with. You know, through it all, I've combed through the ranking systems, and I was trying to come up with an opponent that potentially can make this fight historic. You know what I'm saying? You know how I use my imagination. You feel me? Why let it go to waste? You know, you're not gonna be in the casket using your imagination and being and doing live streams. To my, I ain't out yet, y'all. Still got life. But anyway, I thought to myself, I say through all the ducking and dodging, there's just one that can really match up to Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And have one of the biggest fights ever in boxing. Seriously. It's only one that can make that happen. And that's himself. If Crawford can clone himself, you know what I'm saying? If it's possibility for, you know, just like they was talking about Spence was cloned, I believe cloning do exist. If Crawford can get himself ready for a potential fantasy fight this year, I mean, fantasy opponent, something that no one never seen coming. The only person I think really that's really willing to step up to the task and step in the ring with Crawford without no excuses is himself. That's the only person I see. You might laugh at it, but that seems like the cut and dry answer. Get him to face himself. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're gonna get a fight that the fans want to see, and they'll be evenly matched. I mean, we won't have an argument about splits. We won't have to talk about the A side, B side, because both of them be the A side. And we really don't have to, you know, the only thing that may be a little bit difficult, right, is you know, where is Bomac going to be? Is Bomac going to be with the original Crawford, or he's going to go with the new, improved, you know what I'm saying, clone, you know, Crawford? We don't know that. And then Red Spike, he might have to be in the corner of the newly cloned Crawford. You know what I'm saying? So we might have team versus team and Crawford versus Crawford. That's the way I look at it, because you just get sick and tired of hearing the same whining and complaining going on. You know, just like it was all 22 over again. You know what I'm saying? It was 22 over again. Let's never forget that when a person say that where they from, they don't make excuses, but they come out and start making excuses and talking about they had cataracts, hold them accountable for that. You know what I'm saying? A person that said to their family that they was going to run it back, but yet procrastinated after activating the rematch clause and didn't do anything. Didn't do a MFing thing. The whole entire time he was punching passports, y'all. Punching passports. Punching passports. Just came a punching nigga. Punch, 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 punch. He can punch passports, but he couldn't punch Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I said it. He was punching passports, but he couldn't punch Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm just looking at it like Crawford needs to set up a super fight with himself. Find the laboratory, hurry up and have them start working, building, just like a Build-A-Bear. Build, you know what I'm saying, start forming, developing, and get this clone ready so it can meet fight date, man. And look, this can be history. You know what I'm saying? He can get with the WBO, get with the NSAC, Nevada State Athletic Commission, and get this fight approved, man. This fight will do bigger numbers than Floyd ever could imagine. Why? Because people will be in awe seeing two Crawfords standing in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Facing each other. I mean, it'll be awesome, man. You know what I'm saying? It'll be awesome. Even the aerosexuals will attend this fight, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Even the aerosexual will attend this fight because they're gonna be a little bit curious about it too. I mean, they was the one talking about Spence was cloning. That wasn't the real Spence. So since we're talking about cloning and duplication, I will make sure that the aerosexuals get some comp tickets. Because what's better than one Crawford? Two Crawfords. And this fight right here, people will show up to the arena because we know that Crawford's not going to duck himself. That's first and foremost in getting this fight made. Crawford would not duck himself, man. All these other fighters coming up with excuses. Let me run down the T.O. He got a fight at Let's just cut to the chase, man. We don't have time to be going back and forth trying to figure out how we're going to make this work. Let me get to some of the variables that's extremely frustrating to some people. Not me so much because I've heard it all pretty much. But let's get down to some of the variables. The number one variable that these individuals trying to use to justify Spence hopping in the ring is that he actually rates to be in that position. What is going on with this? You're talking about a fighter who lost and was stopped in the ninth round via TKO, using their promotional power to jump the line to go in there for a title fight. That's the first variable. He believes, and others believes, that he rates to be in that position. Now, one thing we have to understand, right? The other variable comes into play is that we already seen this take place before. Most recently, we seen Rolando Romero, how he was knocked out by Tank and moved up and automatically fought for a title and, was gifted. So, it's no way Rolly Romero could be ranked because he had nothing to basically provide him leverage to place him or insert him into the 140-pound ranking system. Well, boxing is showing you that they're conditioning you for moves like this, where they're pretty much throwing away the rule book and they're going off the fly. They're doing their own thing. They're just showing you, according to what they get behind the scene, if it's a paycheck, it's a handshake under the table, or whatever the case may be, they won't when they won't. So he pretty much did the same thing Rolly did. Almost the same thing, exact same thing. Both of these guys was coming off a knockout loss. Rolly a little bit shorter distance than Spence, but they both came into the ring. But the only thing about this aspect of it is that you have a champion who believes that this their first time being in that position. So they're trying to act like they want to seize every bit of control possibly, y'all. Possibly. They want to seize every bit of control in this fight. The next is, who is Spence actually going to fight? So he came in there to fight Tim Tszyu. We know that. But Tim Tszyu lost. So the hand that he was dealt was Fundora, who happened to have a broken nose, and he won't be back to the end of the year. I told you Karma, right? I don't like calling her out her name. I don't. I don't like calling Karma out her name. I don't. But she is dancing right now. We seeing her in full HD. Karma is in full HD. So Fundora, who is the current active, unified super welterweight champion, right? He has a situation. He has deadlines to meet, which pretty much disrupts what Spence and the PBC was attempting to do. You know what I'm saying? That he has deadlines. The power is in his corner. They have a deadline to meet. Due to his nose being broken, he's not going to be able to meet that deadline with the sanctioning body. So therefore, the next variable for Fundora is to make a decision on if he's going to fight Crawford next or come off the belts. If they go in negotiations to fight Crawford at the end of the year, then he pretty much can I think by September he got to fight Crawford, I believe. If he can come back and fight Crawford, he'll hold on to the belts, and Fundora and Crawford step in the ring for the unified titles, which would be awesome. It'd be awesome for Crawford to fight for 2 titles rather than 1 title. That'd be great. That'd be great. That would be awesome. But that will put Spence way in the back burner, and it will put him in the position that they attempted to make Crawford at 147 pounds. But the only thing that's different is that Crawford actually had a belt. This will put Spence in a very severe predicament because it'd be very, very difficult for him to fish a title. You know what I'm saying? Where is he going to fish a title from? You know what I'm saying? So that's another variable that he has to deal with. If Fundora decides to fight Crawford and shock everybody, outside of what his manager was talking about, that it's almost like no way possible that they can make a deal with Crawford because he wants 50-50. It's his ego. He has a no likable style. He's giving you all the cons of Crawford, right? He's pretty much trying to convince the people that Crawford has no value to the negotiation process, and they're going to go in there and treat him like he hasn't achieved anything. So the other variable for Spence is hopefully they just come off the WBO, and somehow, some way, if Spence choose to wait around to get that fight, if they selectively choose him instead of Tim Tszyu, Spence may get his opportunity to fight for a WBC title. Near the end of the 2024 calendar. You know what I'm saying? That's a positive outlook. He may get an opportunity to fight. But this is another variable for Spence. Spence can get with his so-called team, and being that Crawford is going to be out here, you know what I'm saying, in line to fight for that vacant WBO title, we can go back to the original plan. The original plan was to see a rematch. Somehow, the Errol Spence fans and Errol himself has tried to put that in the rearview mirror. They have tried to put that in Pandora's box. They have tried themselves. They have tried so anxiously to find the top hat and David Copperfield and put that fight in there and make it disappear. Because just like we heard, after July 29, 2023, his fans was pretty much saying that he was beat so bad that They didn't want to see him step in the ring so early. He needed to take a tune up before he stepped back in there with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But this is a variable that he has. He has that as a variable that he can use to potentially try to push for a fight with Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But he's not mentioning it. So if he's not mentioning it, there's no need for Crawford to mention it. That doesn't say anything about Crawford not wanting to fight Spence. No, he's moving on. He did it the way he's supposed to. He did it the most professional way possible. First, he earned his leverage by beating him at 147, and then administratively, he enforced the fruits of his labor in activating his WBO. So therefore, it allows him to be able to fight for that WBO title at 154. Now we just wait for the clock to tick down, and pretty much it's more than likely Fundora going to come off that WBO title. Now, I know Josh Taylor's in the ranking system, and potentially Crawford, may go across the pond, and, have a chance to fight in front of the British boxing crowd because they love boxing over there. Or, these individuals over here that despise of Crawford, they can attempt to make something happen, but that's pretty far-fetched in my opinion. I don't think that's going to be the case. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's the case. Let me get to the chat. Deck, the Mac Mob, the MOBB on deck, man. Salute to you, brother. Carlos, salute. They trying to do man dirty, but again, end of the day, 3-time undisputed. No doubt. We never gonna, forget about that at all. That's definitely gonna be the end game. That's gonna be the mission accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Trick said, good evening, WCS in the chat, at work listening. Hope everyone is good this evening. No doubt, man. Appreciate you, man. 297 on deck. What's good with it? PBC and Samson, some dirty hating mofos. Be glad when the ship sink. When you see things going on already, you don't really have to hope. They struggling right now just to put out a fight schedule. You know what I'm saying? You don't really have to hope. They got so many people out here trying to build them up. Telling them they with the biggest, the baddest. Yeah, Amazon is doing their thing. Correct, though. But ONE FC is already with Amazon, and they have a full fight schedule for the annual calendar. We haven't been able to see that with PBC. That's all I'm saying. That's a little confusing to me. Where is the fight schedule? Where is the annual budget? You know what I'm saying? What are these fighters truly getting paid? Is Canelo getting $35 million for Hammy McGill? What is he actually getting? Is he going to get 10 to 15 million? What is he actually getting? I would like to know. Casanova, we can bet that Bud beats Bud easy. I got my money on Bud. That's what I'm talking about. See, man, we linked up, bro. I got my money on Bud, man. And look, you imagine what the betting odds gonna be. You know what I'm saying? The only separation they're going to have, Carlos, is the red and blue corner. Come on, man. I thought this out, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bud's going to win. The only separation per the freaking betting odds is going to be the red and blue corner, Bud. But he needs to fight himself, man. That is the only logical fight that makes sense. That's the only logical fight that makes sense, bro. Real talk. He needs to fight himself because everybody else is avoiding him. They're taking the roundabout. You know what a roundabout is, right? When you go around that circle, you're able to get off of those particular roadways if you choose. It's a full circle. Yeah. They want to go around the roundabout and dip off and head out, man. Casanova, we can't bet that Bud, easy, I got my money on Bud. Carlos, you don't. Man, y'all crazy. Say you don't know shit about boxing. He said, "You don't know shit about boxing and you think Bud beat Bud, man." Damn, that's hilarious, man. That's hilarious, man. He should he should fight Lopez. No, man, it's not all about pissing somebody off right now. It's all about, further solidifying his legacy, building on it. You know what I'm saying? That's what he is. When Crawford gets to the Hall of Fame, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he wants the biggest, parade, the biggest induction. When they're announcing his accolades, that man is always said that he's had to prove himself all the time. People thought he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. He had to prove himself all the time, right? So when it gets to a point where he get his induction, I believe he's going to get his induction time he's eligible. So when it comes down to it, he want that to be grand. He want the most grandiose induction to the Hall of Fame that you can get. And what's going to make that happen is when they read off his accolades. You know what I'm saying? When they read off his accolades, man. What other fighter been inducted to the Hall of Fame for fighting themselves? Come on, man. That's the first time ever. You know what I'm saying? This will break the bank. Red and blue corner. That's all it's going to be to separate them. Shout out to Jessica in the building. I see you. We riding together again. So this is all the variables that. See, what I don't like is that they try to forget all the restrictions that they was placing upon Crawford leading up to that 2022 negotiation, right? Before he dipped out on him and fought David Avanesian, right? We can never let them forget how they, they schemed and did all this prevaricated type behavior and coming up with all this freaking negative media, man. I mean, it was pretty much propaganda, to be honest with you. They came up with all this negative media about what he didn't deserve, what he should take. He's doing bad business and all that. They pretty much cluttered, the positivity for a fight that's been marinating for 5 years. So, he walks away, fight Avanesian, and come back in 23, and they get paid the most money. I think, Bud is not getting enough credit for revisiting and allowing both of these individuals, him and Errol, to make a little changes, get Showtime to finance the fight, and they both get paid. Just like Spence said on stage when they was facing off. They said, we both get bank. He said, we get to make bank. That's the only positive thing I can say about Spence, because outside of bank, everything else, it didn't go his way. And just when I was up here bragging about, okay, Spence ain't making no excuses. He took the whooping like a man. It was bad. He pretty much was the one in the room feeling that pain and all that. I thought the man wasn't gonna make no excuses, real talk. I really didn't. And then when he started to come out and say, when I grew up, we don't make excuses. And then he said, that's why I got hit with the jabs and the hooks because of cataracts. And I had him before the fight. I looked at him like, dang, dude, what's wrong with you, man? I thought you was standing on honor. You was standing on all 10 toes, man. And you had some integrity behind that. But yet you come up here talking about all this other stuff. It don't make any sense to me. And then you wait for no reason with Steven already saying that they're not going to make the fight in 23. Y'all help Boots, keep you locked into a contract and send that request over there knowing it wasn't going to be met. I mean, come on, man. Everybody know what happened. I put it out there. Everybody know they was a part of that. They got him stripped of the IBF, man. That's how petty it is. That's why, when I saw Crawford on stage doing that fight, I'm saying to myself, he don't look comfortable up there. It looks fake. You know what I'm saying? That's why Crawford didn't have his back turned to them. Most of the time you saw he was facing the people that was up there from PBC. He never turned his back on them. You know what I'm saying? Because he already felt the tip of the blade anyway. They was just waiting for the right time to push it in. Right? to try to sever some main arteries. Now, um, you have these cats out here talking about Errol deserved to be in the position he's in. Once again, they're showing Bud. And I'm saying, you had less than 48 hours on a cheer parade, which, for one, y'all didn't do your homework. Then that went away quickly when y'all found out that this is how things are gonna work. And then Sampson and Jennings was both up here. Jennings was talking about Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, and then we saw the fight play out. Then it turned to, oh, Bud ain't do this. Bud ain't gonna do this. Bud, he wants 50%. Bud ain't gonna get that. He'll never get. Sampson sound like a plantation owner, bro. He don't sound like a nice dude at all. For real talk, man. That dude sound like he is extremely prejudiced, man. When he keeps on talking about what somebody's never gonna get, that means he's gonna guide his fighter into a brick wall, man. They already did with Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza already knocked him clean out. Yeah, they came in here and was able to get a cut on Tim Tszyu, but Brian Mendoza knocked him clean out, man. Knocked him clean out and then fought on the undercard and lost for the WBC interim title. How does that make Fundora look? It's only a matter of time before he get exposed again. I don't think Crawford's going to be the one to expose him this time. Seriously. I don't think Spencer's going to be one that exposes him. I think whenever he comes back from that nose surgery, he's going to fight whoever he's supposed to. Tzew's not coming back till later. So we don't know who Fundora going to fight. Is it going to be Spence? Okay, cool. Let it be Spence. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really caring about saying, well, he shouldn't get the fight. But we all know what happened. That's never going to go away. But at the end of the day, guess what? You keep Spence out of the ring that long, I hope the fight is in Texas. The reason why I'm saying I hope they agree for the fight to be in Texas so he can get in shape and make the weight. If that fight is outside of Texas, you may have a pointless fight. He may come in there at the last minute doing the same thing he did for Crawford. He may be trying to cut weight to the last minute because he looked big in that ring, like he did before. So, when you look at him actually finding a coach, in one rumor, I hear that it's a joke. They still cool with each other, and then the next I hear that it's real beef. That Spencer hasn't paid him. So which one is it? I really don't have time for the games. Seriously, I really don't have time for the games. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just don't have time for the games with this. Get down to it. Are you gonna be ready? Is the fight gonna be in Texas? Sampson. They want to brag about, Fundora and Spence doing this amount of numbers over there and all that. Hey man, make it happen then. Make it happen. If you think they can fight 90,000 ticket sales, you insane. You know what I'm saying? You got early stages of dementia. If you think Fundora and Spence is gonna do 90,000, man, come on, man. You think they're gonna sell out? How many comp tickets you gonna have? 40,000? You gonna have 40,000 comp tickets to give away, just to pack the house and make it look something? You know what I'm saying? It's just so it can look good for the camera. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Like, where's my picture at? Where's my picture? Where's my picture? Where's my picture? I probably can't find it. I probably can't find it quickly. But I have a picture on here. They're gonna try to make it look like the pic that I freaking took on fight night. It's probably nowhere to be seen. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think the only person that would be a competitive challenger would be Crawford himself. That's it, man. I'm tired of all the ducks. I'm tired of these individuals coming up with excuses. It's just, it's just overwhelming to hear all the excuses. You know what I'm saying? From two fighters that's supposed to be elite level fighters, and Bud is doing elite level stuff. You know what I'm saying? He's making moves the elite way, professionally. Then you have Spence, who is absolutely the guy who has done things the wrong way, has put himself in jeopardy of losing his career, all that. And people still glorify this dude. They won't glorify Crawford for anything, man. And you know, I'm put it out there again. I just think, you know, they being prejudiced against him because, you know, he's a dark skinned brother that's doing it the right way. That's all. That's what I think. Real talk. That's what I think. I think they trying to, you know, the way he, you know, looked like Joe Frazier, retro Joe Frazier back in the day. They don't want to treat the man, you know, oh, he ain't a part of the culture. I don't know what y'all talking about. When I see him out there, dude has, you know, his whole kit on, everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let me show you a picture I took of Spence, man. Let me show you a picture I took of Spence at the Beverly Hills. See, Spence is looking at my camera right now. Look at how he's looking at my camera, bro. Come on now. Come on. That's me taking a picture directly of Spence. He knew exactly who I am, y'all. He doesn't look happy, does he? Look how big he is now. Look how big Spence was right there, man. Dude looked like he can play for the Texas, you know, the Texas Donkeys or the freaking Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? He can play something. He trying to mean mug me, man. When I had the long lens on him. Look how big he is, man. So look, that's what I'm saying. When it comes down to him staying out the ring, this fight was outside of Texas boundaries. If you go back in my lives, man, I said, if he has a fight outside of Texas, he's going to have problems making weight because he's not going to be able to sip on that tea and cut weight and be ahead of time like he was for Ugas. And damn sure that's what happened. He was still cutting weight leading up to fight day. You know what I'm saying? Look at him, man. He got his glasses on. That dude looking directly at me. His Spence was mad, dog. I'm telling you, bro. Spence was mad as I don't know what, man. For those of you who steal my picture, man, make sure you cite me on that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you cite me now. That was Beverly Hills. You know, don't just look like your boy ain't on the front lines like that, man. You know, but at the end of the day, man, you know, this is what people is riding off of, y'all. I'm going into the archives. You know, Errol Spence Jr. did this to Ugas. Look at that. EJ did that to Ugas. So he thought at that moment that he was an eye catcher, an eye taker, a mercenary. He did this to Ugas. So he goes and get a mouthpiece. Either Bud will go to this extreme to prove who they are. They just gonna come into the ring, square up, get introduced, and you know, then we call the fight and open the bell. That's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This is so wild, man, that I have to do a live stream and pretty much put it out there that the only person that is a credible opponent to step in there with Bud Crawford is himself, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember this, right? I'm bringing up some archives for you now. Y'all remember this, right? Tell you the truth, I could have retired after my accident and been good. Okay? That's him. That's EJ. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. He said, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. This is archives, y'all. This is my archives. He say he's here for a good time, not a long time, y'all. Okay? He's not here for a long time. He's just here for a good time. So you know me, I would like to ask him, was July 29th a good time? That's all. You know, was it a good time for you? What do you like the most about that good time that you had? Stepped in there after a fight marinated for 5 years, and it played out the way it did. Now I got to do a live stream to give the fans a fantasy opponent for Crawford, which is himself. You know what I'm saying? Let me get in my archival bag and let y'all see some of these thumbnails, right? They said I fought bombs. Look how easy Arrow was. Come on. If y'all want to screenshot that, go ahead, man. I'm going in my archival bag, man. I'm going into the briefcase, man. I'm going into the briefcase. Catch it on replay, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got to come up here with a live and say the only person that'll give Crawford any competition and accept the fight is himself, man. It's himself. You know how crazy that is? You know how crazy it is? Look. Here go another classic. Man. The hottest topic on YouTube, Terrence Crawford. Mortal to Immortal, July 29, 2023. Come on, man. That's a classic thumbnail right there. That's a classic one, bro. I just got too much in the archives, man. This dude, Crawford, need to fight himself, bro. They need to hurry up and get that clone taken care of. This man need to fight himself. Period. That is the only way we're going to get a competitor that's willing to step in there without giving freaking excuses. Seriously. That's the only way. That is the only way, y'all. So we can stop with all these excuses. We need to make this happen. Crawford versus Crawford, 154 pounds, 2024. That's what we need to do. We need to somehow find out what formula is needed. Check this out. Errol Spencer's a great fighter, but there's no comparison. When you compare Errol Spence to Terrence Crawford, there's no comparison. I'm already going to the Hall of Fame. If we retire right now, he's not going to the Hall of Fame. Classic, y'all. I'm going in my bag, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going in my freaking brown bag, and that was inside the briefcase. I'm letting y'all know that it don't stop, won't stop. I'm calling for Bud Crawford versus Bud Crawford. Red corner versus blue corner. That is the only way to settle this. No opponent, and he's not getting 50-50. He'll never get that. Who are you? Samson? It sounds stupid, man. Want to deny this man his greatness, man. Y'all know this right here. It's always going to be a classic. It's always going to be a classic. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Crawford defeats Spence. 9th round TKO. Who's next? Got the Old Bay seasoning and got the fish. Come on, man. Come on, classics. Classics, man. Stop it. Classics, man. I got too many in the archives, bro. You know what I'm saying? Crawford versus Crawford. Red corner versus blue corner versus red corner. You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. That's what we have to do. We have to take drastic measures in this because so many fighters are trying their best to try to circumvent the fight in the way it's supposed to play out. They want to once again try to send him in there and talk about what you don't rate when it comes to purses. Nobody's trying to hear that no more at all. You tried that the first time. It didn't work out well for you. Now, you know what I'm saying, after the aftermath, now you're trying to come up here and act like you're going to try to take Crawford back to the same rigmarole that you did the first time. No, not at all. Not at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. It's just too much, leverage that Crawford has earned at 147 pounds that you just can't ignore when he's taking a fight at 154. You know what I'm saying? You can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. He earned it. You know what I'm saying? He told y'all what he was gonna do. In case y'all forgot, I'll put it back up there. I'll keep that up there now. He told you what he was gonna do. He said, I'm gonna put on a show. I'm gonna put on a show, watch. He told you what he was gonna do. Y'all weren't paying attention. He told you what he was gonna do now. Yeah, Samson did say Errol would take 50-50, absolutely. You know, man, Samson did one of the worst interviews in a long time. Extremely biased. Man, he just pretty much ignored the fact on what Crawford had accomplished. He didn't care. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't care. Trick said, W says, I bet my red blood cells and my 86 Troop tennis shoes that Errol Spence would not have gotten in the ring and called out Fundora if Jim Gray or Larry Merchant was conducting that interview. Oh, man, what? Man, come on. Larry Merchant would have stopped him at the rope. No, there's no need for that. There's no need for that. Jim Gray would have asked him, well, Errol, I'm not too sure why you're here, but we're not in Texas. So what brings you here? Oh, the big dog coming. The big dog. Jim Gray would have broke him down. That's how Jim Gray do. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jim Gray do, man. Jim Gray would have broke him down, man. Shout out to Brim in the building, man. Salute to you, bro. I like how Spence fan always hyping everything up. Yes, Spence Fundora is a mega fight. Man, I never seen a bunch of people just abuse words, man. They say Spence deserve. It's a mega fight. All that. Hey, you on deck. What's good? He said, not. Oh, that's hilarious, man. He's saying Nostradamus LP needs to stop talking and go sit down. That's hilarious, man. Oh, he said nostril. Man, I don't know what's over that man's nose. Oh, I've seen it up close, man. It's quite different. You know what I'm saying? But I don't look at men's features like that. Only because, you know, it was mentioned in a comment. That's all. That's the only reason. I think Spence wants a belt to get leverage. Rematch Crawford so he can cash out. He forget he can contract already if he loses. Forget he had a contract already if he loses. Well, he's in the worst place possible right now, because they're throwing him back into the water after they threw him in there with Crawford without a life raft, right? Without an inner tube, without anything, no lifeguards except Harvey Dock. And even Harvey Dock couldn't stop him from being drowned from the second round to the ninth. You know what I'm saying? He said, okay, his head is still above water. He keep getting up now. I'm not going to call it. You know, be careful. Be careful. I'm watching you. And then he just had to call it because Crawford came out there trying to drown him in the ninth. He said, no, I can't allow this to happen on my watch. And he stopped the fight. Seriously. Let me give you another, let me give you another one that's in my archives, man, because, you know, this type of rhetoric that's been going on with, you know, Crawford, it has to stop sooner or later, but I'm not out here for it to stop. You know why? Because I can't stop it. I can't stop all that rhetoric that's going on. You know, these people just keep on playing, man. You know? And then people up here talking about Anui would beat Crawford and all that. Man, Anui better stay his small self in them lower weight divisions. You don't want to, bring your behind up here and mess around with that monster. You know what I'm saying? The ghost they call Crawford. You don't want to play around with that, buddy. You better keep yourself in safe and on safe grounds. And this will be the last one. I'll make it really good. This will be the last thumbnail that I'll provide for you for now. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many in the archives that I can go to. But I'll give you this last one right quick. Just let me find it. Where is it? I just passed it not too long ago. Let me give you one more thumbnail. Where are you? And for those of you that's in the building, do me a favor. You know what I'm saying? Get active. You know what I'm saying? On that like button, man. Hit the like button. You know, it's about to be Thursday in about 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? In less than 2 minutes, it's about to be Thursday. But I'm about to hit you with this last one. I deals with Crawford. Because we need to continue to advocate for this grand fight to happen. Because the fans need to see it. Now, what Jessica, somebody said in the chat, somebody said it, is that Spence trying to get a belt to leverage against a rematch. I would like that. I definitely would want a unification. Definitely, I would like a unification, man. That's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, if he can go in there and beat Fundora, then we talking, bro. You know what I'm saying? We talking. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this is the reason why he's able to do what he does. Because he did. This is why he's able to do what he does, because he did. You know what I'm saying? Stand on business. One fighter of the year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, y'all. You know what I'm saying? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Undisputed. 2-time undisputed. Let's stop playing around with these people that's acting like they have selective amnesia and they want to use it more, you know, each and every time a reflection come up and we remind them what they was doing in 2022. No, you talking about old stuff. No, we talking about new stuff. Because if y'all can continue to talk about him being with PBC and all that, then we can continue to remind you what happened July 29th when he was locked into a contract, a 2-fight deal with PBC. I mean, you know, for Showtime, brother. I mean, isn't that what you wanted? You got the first fight, you activated the rematch clause and did nothing with it. It's not our fault no more at all. He stood on business. He waited and waited and waited. And you was punching passports and just procrastinating. And then you got to the first part of this year and you didn't want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? They took the belt and then you was out. You did it on purpose. Now you're stuck in a hard place talking about you the big dog and nobody's believing it. You know, and somebody said, I think on IO's panel, I think it was Justin who said that. I think it was Justin who said it. He made a point where it was pretty much just for Spence to, you know, provide a little bit of agitation to the fan base, you know, for him jumping the line and to put eyes back on him and the promotion. You know what I'm saying? Which it does make a lot of sense just to come in there and ruffle feathers, man, and get people agitated. You know, that you're jumping the line and you just lost a stoppage. But I told y'all back in the day, you know, since Rolly was able to do that, it was bound to happen again. Just like I told you about the franchise title. Mauricio Suleiman was going to wait till the opportune time to use that franchise title. That's after Lomachenko had it. That's after Teofimo Lopez had it. And, of course, Canelo was the first. What did he do? He inserted it at the super flyweight division. And he allowed Juan Estrada to be elevated the franchise and vacate the WBC. And that's when you allowed Jess Rodriguez to come up here and make history. You know, that's why he's a multi-time world champion now. You know, and a multi-division world champion. Beating Carlos Kudras and Sor Rungvisai, dropping back down, picking up a title, and then fighting Sonny Edwards. Man, come on, bro. That's as a fighter who's going under the radar, but that was good times. You know what I'm saying? Good times. Arrow was the easiest. Yeah, man. Errol was the easiest, no doubt about it. Samson said Errol read that. It kind of sounded like a Spencer Hawley. He didn't bring Spence, but he sure talked like one of his groupies. Man, they continue to try to ignore what happened to Spence last year. Don't do that. Don't do that, bro. Samson said Errol will fight on the undercard because he's something. Man, what? What? I didn't hear Samson say that. But if he pulled a needle out and he was able to get that sentence, he was able to say that sentence on the mic, Errol fighting on the undercard. Now that would be a slap. I'm talking about a slap with a freaking car tire. Man, I'm talking about with a bear claw slap. You fighting on the undercard? Man, don't come up here talking about no leverage. Samson, it seems like he knows everything about Errol. Errol's willing to take 50-50. Yes, he's willing. Yeah. And dang, that's crazy. Samson said Bud avoiding Boots because he know he will beat him. He was like, Crawford can still make 147. He just don't want to fight Boots. It's amazing how so many people would try to dictate what direction Crawford should do, but they don't want to help him get there. You know what I'm saying? They always talk about, oh, he should do this. But first, he should fight your fighter. And then he can go back down to 147. No. I'm not trying to help him figure it out. You know what I'm saying? They always want to say, oh, he can go in that direction. And then you ask them why. Oh, just because. Why would you want him to fight Boots when y'all was saying Crawford hasn't done enough to fight Spence? And this man had an undisputed already. He had an undisputed division already, and people were saying that wasn't enough. So how can Boots be ready to face Crawford all of a sudden with very limited scrutiny like was placed on Crawford initially? How does that work? It doesn't. It's called being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? A bigot. You know what I'm saying? It's called being an aerosexual. That's what it's called. W says they should make a commercial like Nike did for Michael Jordan when he played against himself. Make a CGI commercial with Bud fighting against himself. They need to, man. That's the only person that has no problem stepping in the ring with Bud, and they can work it out financially because they're gonna keep it in the family. And they need to make the fight. That is the toughest opponent right now out there, wherever the clone is at, for him to fight himself. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's a good point, Trick. You know what I'm saying? That's a good point. They should put some promo out there. Bud needs to fight himself. Have a fight, have a promo out there of Bud fighting himself first, and maybe that'll entice, some of these so-called elite fighters to step in the ring and sign the contract, and don't make it about money and talk about Bud 150-50. He don't rate 50-50. Are you stupid? Your fighter just got off the canvas, and you saying your fighter rate 50%? Man, this is one of the dumbest. Oh my God, I'll never get that out of my head, man. JD on deck, I see you, man. What's good? If he beats Boots, it will be so many excuses. Yeah, no doubt. It'll be excuses because, for one, we already know what the excuse is going to be because it's like that right now without them fighting. He ain't ready. He hasn't fought nobody on his resume to make him ready. So Bud go in there and beat this guy easily. They're going to say, oh, that was an easy. Oh, man, nobody's going to respect the 3-time undisputed. He never should have fought him. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The lips never stop freaking swagging back and forth, man. Seriously. This stuff just keeps going on and on and on, man. Stand on business and be done with it. If he beats Boots, it will be so many excuses. Every excuse Bud told Spence to his face, people will say it happened. Well, I don't think the Boots fight is going to happen anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't even been a part of the conversation lately. The conversation has absolutely been about what? The WBO. the WBO, the WBO. So we taking the talking, you know what I'm saying, and we listening and talking. We waiting for these days to go by so we can get this news that the WBO has came on, it's been vacated, and Crawford has a fight day coming up with whoever it is. If it's with Josh Kelly or if it's with Spence. Believe me, don't be surprised now. Don't be surprised. Now, if whoever it is, I don't know who it can be, but Josh Kelly, he can take that step aside money. But people really wants to Spence Crawford. If that is the selection process we got, we'll rather want to see Crawford Spence rather, than Crawford Josh Kelly. Now I don't even know if the Saudis will even touch this fight, but it's not impossible for that proposal to be presented over there. They got the money to do it. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence and Crawford over in Saudi Arabia, man. I mean, once again, they'll both be able to get paid, and I mean, a lot of people be tuned into that fight. Truth be told, if Al Sheik was to put on Spence Crawford over there, they'll probably get the most views of any fight they had over there thus far. Seriously, I mean, of course, the undercard, definitely. I mean, they really don't have to have no thick undercard. It's just people right now, 154, want to see these two guys fight. They may not want to see them fight immediately, but if by chance they can get this next, if Crawford can get this next for the vacant, it'll be a good fight. I mean, yes, it'll be very, very good if the Sheiks were entertain the fact to put this fight on in Saudi. It would be awesome, man. Because we won't have to worry about money. We won't have to worry about pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about none of that, man. None of that. And another reason, Samson may be bitter the way he is because I don't think they really have any open doors over there at Saudi. They ain't really doing business with the PBC like that. You know what I'm saying? I know he's not a promoter that's over there at PBC, but he does have some fighters that's over there. You know what I'm saying? But I know out of all the promoters, Queensberry, Matchroom, Top Rank, all of them that was over there for them fight cards, and then Riyadh, you did not see PBC over there. You did not see PBC. And I don't think you're going to see PBC over there anytime soon. Now, granted, I don't know how to work out for their fighter, but because they try to get Tank over there, he's not signed with PBC, but in a way, he's attached to them. You know what I'm saying? So we have to see how that works itself out. But people, it's Thursday already. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Appreciate y'all support. We should do it again. Remember, the hot grease is always cooking. You know what I'm saying? Especially those aerosexual